Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of Minecraft Super Weenie Hut Junior Realm Survival. In the start of this episode, we will be getting caught up with everything I did off camera, and then after we will get into the start of some time lapses. And then we will finish up with some terraforming. Let's poof right into it. After many minutes of fishing, we were able to get a bookshelf, and I was able to get enough string and sticks to now make another fishing rod, which I'm going to try to enchant. And Jason ended up enchanting this fishing rod for me, because it didn't have the best enchantments on the enchanter, and he had more levels, but now I have a good amount of levels, so I'm going to try to enchant it. This is strange.
What?
There's one that just doesn't have a word on it, and then there's one that I can do for 7 levels.
I think it's because we lack bookcases, so the enchanting is like real weak.
I'm gonna do this one that's 7, I think. Or should I don't know. I think that one's better. Yeah, it just got me another unbreaking one, but it's all good. There we go, enchanted. So there's that next achievement. And then I proceeded to do even more off camera, like locating a village and nabbing this gentleman. Let's take a quick look-see. When we had left off, I believe I said I was just going to do some off-camera fishing, and boy did I fish. I must have enchanted 1,000,000 rods. I got up to level 30, and I got a full enchanting setup, which was super awesome. Then I built a small farm with potatoes, carrots, weeds, and beetroot, and went through the arduous task of moving one villager from a village to my house. Let's get right into the start of the time-lapse where I show you guys how I moved the first villager to my house using the second villager as an example because I didn't record the first trip. In the beginning, I start with mining this mushroom because I'm so excited to get its resources. I have just been working on moving a villager from a village all the way to my house. I'm just glad I got to show you guys where the village was. So, I have plans in the future. I'm probably going to be changing up the second floor of my house because it's kind of small and I need a bit more room. That's one thing I needed to do, and then another thing is that I need to set up a villager breeder. So I got one gentleman and I got a second gentleman. This is the second one, and I just need them to both meet up. Or actually, I guess one's a gentleman and one is a lady, but they look the same, so I don't know which one is which, but you guys can choose. So I got one gentleman and one lady that I'm trying to move over, and I'm going to start making a villager breeder. I looked at a couple different designs, and there is one YouTuber who has released one in the last week, so I'm going to start with his. At some point, I might change to what he upgrades his to, because he said he was going to do a updated version of it, like for an automatic one, and that it is in the works. So at some point, I'll probably want to do that, because that's how I like to do my villagers, but it isn't a rush right now, because I farmed an absolute ton of stuff off camera. Basically, the plan is you just put a piston under it and you put a torch next to it and it'll move it up, and in the water you got to use redstone block because the torch, it doesn't work underwater. And I'm using a sticky piston, but it's better to use regular pistons because regular pistons won't go down. I am used to doing awful monotonous things because that is what I am actually good at. I learned this fact about myself after many years of doing awful monotonous things, which I still do. At least Minecraft makes them enjoyable, usually. If it's a monotonous thing in Minecraft, I can pop on some good vibes, some good jams, and be able to, get it done without too much of an irk. I used to not be like that, though. I used to be like, oh, anything is too much to build. That farm is so big. Oh, no. Nowadays, my friends look at what I build and they're like, yo, what? And I'm like, yeah, I spent a week on that. I mean, sometimes those are the types of projects that you love the most, though, and even if the challenge is difficult and takes a long time, once you've finished it, it's so much more worth it than if you did it at a smaller scale, or if you did it with the blocks you didn't want to use. That's another reason why I want to change my starter base. I'm not a fan of that top area, and if I did change that top area, then I would absolutely love it. Just needs to be a little bit bigger. I looked at some other YouTubers' builds and stuff watching YouTube today, but I got a lot of inspiration for what I want to do, and I was thinking I could use concrete for the top floor to add a little bit of color, but I'd have to do some white concrete, which isn't difficult to get at all. I would just need to farm a couple skeletons, I think. And I have a little bit of bone meal, and I have gotten a bit of bones, so it's not too far of a challenge. But that's the main goal today, is to get this good gentleman over to the lady, I suppose, or vice versa, and then have them breed. So I can start, I don't even know what I want to start. If it's, I think, an iron farm, I think that might be the best thing to start off with, just because I don't have fortune, but at the same time, I'm like, because I don't have fortune, it's going to be hard to get a lot of materials, so I think maybe I should try to get at least 2 villagers that are for a trading hall. Like, possibly I should get a mending villager and a fortune villager. I feel like those are the most important for you to get usually, but also unbreaking as well. But mending overall is, I feel like, the most important, and then fortune after that. Well, see, I mean, that's actually kind of hard to debate as well, because fortune is super important in the beginning of the game, and without fortune, it makes it really hard to get much of anything. And then mending is almost the same, where it's super hard to get in the beginning of the game, and once you do get it, it makes everything a lot easier, because like, you don't want to waste your diamonds trying to make something that's gonna break. So mending helps that not happen, and unbreaking is the same as well, but I feel like unbreaking is less important than mending. Unbreaking is just like, this makes sure it's not going to break, whereas mending is completely negates the ability of it breaking. So whereas one is a safeguard, the other pretty much does the job all by itself way more effectively than the other. But I do feel like unbreaking is super important and shouldn't be passed by either. So maybe I should get the trading hall done first so that I can start getting all those guys. I feel like after talking it out, that helps make me make my decision, because I do feel like getting iron is super important, but I'm going to be able to get iron a lot easier than I'm going to be able to get those things. So I should probably focus on getting those things. And then setting up iron afterwards is actually going to be slightly more difficult, I feel, because I believe your villages are supposed to be a certain distance away from each other. So if you don't move them far enough, they're going to start messing with your breeder, and they're going to start messing with your iron farm. So yeah, I do know I'll have to address that at some point, but it's no biggie right now. It might be fine to have the breeder right in the center of our starting bases, because it should just stay loaded in, and we shouldn't have to worry about a lot of stuff. Moving villagers is something I don't particularly love, but it is something I definitely recommend every Minecraft player do at least once in their lifetime. and it would be fun to eventually maybe get a horse. I know horses aren't the best, but until I get an elytra, they're better than walking everywhere. Also, if you do have to move villagers up large expanses, I do recommend using minecarts instead of the boat and piston trick that you see me using, but I am doing it this way as I have a deficiency of gold and iron ingots to make regular and powered rails. We're starting to get to the stone, which is going to slow us down just a little bit, but it's not the worst. Maybe we'll name some of the villagers that we trade with, like the Mendy villager or something. I do enjoy naming things, but I am at a limited amount of name tags. But I do know you can get name tags from villagers, so it's one of those things. It's a catch-22. You gotta have emeralds to trade emeralds. Gotta have all this and that and this and that. And I think fortune might just be the start of what we have to do because there's so many emeralds everywhere. I might just need to get fortune first, go and get all those emeralds, and then I might be able to, there might not even be enough emeralds just around for us to get fortune in the first place. Another one of those things, but we'll just have to see. Oh, and there's a zombie over here. I might as well kill that guy because I don't want to even see a zombie when I'm dealing with villagers. That is just no thank you. Oh, and looks like an Enderman left a gift for us right there. That was nice of him. At this point, I definitely didn't want to go through that jungle with that boat, so that's why I'm building this giant, atrocious dirt bridge. Alright, so what I was thinking about this area right up here is I could expand it a bit, maybe like a block. I think a block would be good enough. And then I'd be able to put some concrete on the top area, and then I'll probably still use some deep slate just to keep it nice. And I love the roof still. I'm not sure where I saw someone using that style of roof, but it's just beautiful. I know it was in Hermitcraft somewhere, but props to whoever thought of using moss as a roofing. It looks so gorgeous. I also just saw today someone using blue terracotta, and it looked so gorgeous for the top of the roof. I don't remember whose house it was, but it looked super nice. Ooh-wee, those Hermitcrafters, they know how to make some nice roofs. That's another thing, too, that I've never liked doing is making roofs. I've hated making roofs my whole life. I've always thought they've always looked ugly. That's the first roof that I've ever thought looks pretty okay, and I'm gonna have to make it bigger because I'm expanding that top area, but it's totally fine because I think I have plenty of moss. Oh my gosh. This process was an absolute joy, though. I had so much fun getting this guy over here. Let's go ahead and get into F5 so we can see just exactly where we are and where we're going, because I do not want to mess this up. And there we go. We are at home base. got that home stretch, gotta sprint as fast as we can. And we got our two fellows, or fellow and fellette, all ready and perfect for their villager breeder. So I'm going to go ahead then, and I guess get started on building that. I'm gonna have to tear this down first though, and if I have a shovel, I can get that done a lot quicker. Looks like I do not, so I'm just gonna make one real quick. I got some sticks laying around, and some stone. I know it's awful still using stone, but we are real low on iron, and can't be wasting it on a shovel right now. So stone it is, but still better than our hand, so that's good. And once we get the iron golem farm going, it's going to be madness, just pure madness, as much iron as we could possibly need. And iron is definitely needed right now. I really want to do a sorting system at some point too, because I love doing sorting systems. That's something I've just absolutely always loved doing. I'm like, if it's sortable, I want it to be sortable. There's nothing more fun to me than like having an area that you can just like throw your stuff and it just automatically gets sorted for you, and you're just like, oh yeah, that was so easy and nice. Because I hate organizing. Well, okay, I don't hate organizing. I do really enjoy organizing, but I hate wasting my time organizing, rather. So having something that automatically organizes is the best. And having things organized is so satisfying. Like, there's nothing better than it, and you can get stuff done way quicker. And I'm like, that awful mess that is my bottom floor of my house right now with the storage. I cannot wait to change that, because having one chest for your blocks is just abysmal. Oh, and now it's raining. That's fun. I love that rain. Let's hope it's not a thunderstorm, because I do not have him blocked up. And what I was thinking too is, when I do get this villager breeder done, I will I'll put it inside of some sort of like house looking area, so that it'll kind of just blend in with what my house looks like and doesn't look too out of place, because they tend to look pretty out of place whenever you have a crazy farm. And that's the last thing I want. And I tend to build in a modern build style, and modern build style is perfect for that, like 110%, but we're not really building modern right now, and it won't match with everything else. So try my best to match with what I can. So I am just going to keep this guy real safe, because I don't want any bad guys coming around and heckling us for all of our hard work. So we got our villagers. We're gonna need to get started on a villager breeder now, I believe, and I think they are like right exactly where the villager breeder needs to be. Well, I mean, I can level out this area as well. I'll make a second furnace. I mean, I'm literally just realizing that I could just go up to Tony Mellon's place and cook up stuff, because his stairs are literally made of furnaces, because he loves us to see his amazing build style as much as he can. It's a real flex, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that Tony Mellon's guy. Alright, well, let's get some dirt. Got 1, 2... and almost a half stacks of dirt. That should be enough for us to build some good stuff. Oh, I better put away these mushrooms too in my farmable supplies, so that in the future I'll be able to build with that. I'm gonna put away the string too, and put away that rotten flesh. Don't need that. Put away that glass pane for now, and I don't need the boat on me anymore. You know, yeah, I'll just put in my rare stuff for now, because it's no, I can put it with my tools. Haha. There we go. I'll just put away some of that coal, and I'm going to make some temporary tools for myself. Go another stone shovel and a stone axe. I'll put away that crafting table so that I can build another crafting table in the future. I'm gonna start flattening out this area then. This is just like a massive creeper hole, essentially, so... or it looks like one, essentially. At this point, I really just wanted to make an area that was leveled out so I have enough building room, and I wanted to keep the natural slope of the mountain up to the build site. And I don't terrain a bunch, so this was a nice change of pace. And there we go. That is pretty flat. Thank you so much for watching the 7th episode of Minecraft Super Weenie Hut Junior Realm Survival. This episode took an insane amount of time to work on, so I apologize for not being able to upload it as quickly as I would like to. If you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, please make sure to fling an ender pearl as hard as you can directly at the like button, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the heck out of that village bell so you don't miss any updates. Thanks again, and bye!